What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Love and Rice with your host, Aunt Ma, and host, Christina Ma. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I love these new podcast episodes that we're doing, and I love how many uploads we're doing on our channel now. This is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so if you guys haven't been following us, make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Amazon, Google. What is the other one? Spotify, Amazon, Google. There's another one that
starts with a C.
C, Castbox.
Yeah, Castbox.
But there's also another one. Oh, Apple.
There
we go. So can you guys comment and let us know where you guys listen to all the podcasts, or if it's just here on YouTube? I love to know. And so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how we handle bullying for the kids. I've been through a lot of bullying growing up. I would say it started in elementary school, but not from being at school, more of from home.
Oh.
Because I had two older brothers who were 5.5 years older than me. They're twins, so they would gang up on me all the time, and they would be the ones bullying me.
Okay. I mean, I have two older brothers too, and I guess I wouldn't have seen it too much as bullying, but they were picking on me, so I guess that kind of is the same thing.
It is. At the time, at that young age, I didn't think of it as bullying. It was just brothers harassing me. But now at this age, I'm like, yes, that was definitely bullying.
Yeah. With my brothers, they used to just always scare me all the time. And because we're all 2 years apart, except for my sister, because she was in an accident. But they had more
to do with anything.
Well, I was saying that everyone is 2 years apart except for my sister.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
Because we're like 9 years apart. But they used to always like tag team on me and like they would pick on me.
What's the worst thing your brothers did to you that traumatized you to this day?
Oh my gosh, they used to scare me all the time. There was one point where I used to always watch Scream.
Yeah.
And I was so afraid of it, but I would keep watching it for some reason. Like I was so ballsy back then. But there was this one incident where when I was sleeping, they hung the Scream mask like on my door.
Yeah.
So I woke up and I saw it and I ran to it. I grabbed it and I threw it. And then I went under my blanket and I started crying.
How old were you?
I don't remember. When did Scream come out? I don't even know.
Like elementary school?
Probably, but I was just so scared. And they used to always do all these dumb things, and they would like say, oh, imagine this, you're gonna see this when you're sleeping in your room, and I'm like by myself, all scared.
That's so funny because Scream is not even a scary movie. It's just a thriller or suspense. Dude, it's just some guy in a mask and a knife. It's not like a ghost.
That stuff scares me more than ghost stuff though, because that stuff is like it seems like it has more of a likelihood to happen.
I don't know, man. You could get possessed from a ghost. That could happen.
That's true. I think probably because you've experienced that, so it's something that you're not as afraid of. Maybe that's a normal thing for you.
We might talk about that in another episode.
Oh my gosh.
But, going into middle school and high school, that's when the bullying actually started for me in school.
Oh, that's kind of late for bullying in school.
Why would you get bullied in elementary school?
Oh, I thought you said in high school.
Middle school is when it started.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Middle school is when I started getting into fights.
Already? Oh.
Yeah, it'd be like 7th grade, 8th grade. I'd be getting in fights.
Well, that's considered junior high.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, my first real fights were actually in junior high too. They were both in 7th grade.
Yeah, so it's crazy, right? It's like right out of elementary school, you're getting in fights, and it's like, these are all, I don't even know why we would get in fights. It could be just from what we learned from our siblings.
It's all, I don't know, it's just all kind of just.
It's stupid stuff.
It is really stupid stuff. Because for me, just thinking back, for those fights that I had, like I never wanted to fight, but it was two people that basically kind of like teamed up on me. And in my first fight, like obviously I won the fight. She ended up having like these horns on her forehead. She had horns on her forehead, and then she had like a black eye. She had like all these bumps on her face. And just because of the fact that like I beat her up, her best friend wanted to fight me after, like to defend her honor and stuff.
And this is like when you're 12.
Yeah. And like I knew how to fight. I always knew how to fight back then, but I just never wanted to. And I felt like it was just for the stupidest reasons, you know?
Yeah, I think for boys, it's more of an ego and pride thing. So when I got in fights in middle school, it was like this guy's a loser. I'm gonna just try and beat him up, type of thing, you know? Or like if this loser at school said something to me, then that's my reason to just punch him. You know, like, so I was bullying people too.
Okay.
You know, but I was getting bullied more. You know, like, it just, everyone does both.
I feel like it kind of just goes full circle. So it's kind of hard. And I feel like it's a touchy subject when you're talking about bullying because I got bullied a lot too. And I feel like because I got bullied a lot that I ended up bullying people too.
Right. And it's for different reasons. So it's like when I was in school, it's almost like prison. If you don't bully someone else or fight someone else, everyone's going to think you're the weakest link.
Yeah, like you felt like you had to do it.
Yeah, and they're going to keep bullying you.
Yeah.
So whenever I would fight people and I would knock them out and I would win every single fight in school, then people knew not to mess with me anymore.
How many fights did you get into? That's
a lot.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah,
oh
it was
my
a
gosh.
lot. So I think at 5 years old, that's when I started martial arts. I was doing Kung Fu.
Yeah.
You know, I was like in lion dance. If you guys don't know, lion dance is this Chinese tradition where there's these big lion heads, you're doing this, and then someone else has a tail and they're underneath doing this. And so I was in this, you know, this traditional club in Chinatown, and along with lion dance, you'd play the drums and cymbals and learn the instruments. And then also you would do martial arts training with weapons and all this stuff. So I think starting at like 5 years old is when I started doing martial arts.
That's pretty cool.
And that's probably why I was able to defend myself starting in middle school. So I think it's very, very important to put both our kids into some sort of martial arts now.
Yes.
Right? Leia's 5, Enzo's 3. I would love for them to start now because I don't want them to start at 10 years old and then be scared of it and cry and all that stuff. And I think it also teaches them a lot of discipline. Yeah. Right? Which is what I think our kids really need.
Yeah, I feel like at their age, like there are so many things that they can learn. Like they're absorbing everything like a sponge. And I feel like we can't treat them as if they're like very dainty and fragile. Because I mean they can be, but they can also be really strong too at the same time. So that's why we were trying to take them to learn all these different martial arts, and we haven't found the right one yet. But I think the next one that I would want them to do, and it also fits with their age range, is BJJ.
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So I love jiu-jitsu because we're small, and then the kids are obviously going to be the smaller ones when they're in school.
Yeah.
And learning jiu-jitsu, it's like, even though you can fight and box or kick, and when you punch someone, you can knock them out. But if there's someone that goes on top of you, especially for Leia, because she's a girl, and she can't wiggle away, you feel so defeated and useless.
Yeah. Like when I think what started all of it and us trying to look for martial arts classes for them was because we saw Leia and Enzo, they were always grappling on the floor.
Yeah.
And then they would always cry because they were stuck under the other person and they couldn't get themselves out. And we're like, dude, like, use your muscles, use your strength. And then when you actually ingrain that into their mind, they're like, oh, actually, you're right. Why am I crying? And then they'll just use all their strength and push them off so easily.
So specifically speaking, Enzo, our youngest son, would go on top of Leia and they would wrestle. And Leia would be stuck and she can't get off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is 2 years younger than you, Leia.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So the moment we taught her how to get away from that, she started going on top of Enzo and like she's not afraid anymore.
Yeah, she would find ways to get out of it rather than like crying and whining, waiting for us to help her. Yeah. You know?
So I've never been in that situation before because I'm always on my feet and just, punching and kicking.
Yeah.
But being able to throw someone off or just how to get away from someone's power like that is so crucial for a girl.
Yeah.
Right. And it happened to me. It happened to me one time, and it was my uncle. I have this uncle who was just always so lazy and just didn't like to do stuff all the time. And so also we would play like Big Two. You guys remember Big Two? It's this,
Big 2 or 13, right?
Yeah, it's this Chinese poker game that would play. And it would be me, my cousin, and my like uncle who was like, 20, 30 years older than us. And he would cheat every time.
Oh my gosh.
So he would like,
what a great
he'll get the twos back, the big twos back, and use them again, stuff like that. So one time I got mad. I was like 12 years old, and then I was like yelling at him. I don't know. I think I either pushed him or something because there's just too much cheating going on after so many years. And then we started getting into this fist fight, and he got on top of me and held me down, my arms and my legs, and I couldn't move.
I was like, that.
Okay, this is not cool.
Yeah.
I can't defend myself right now. I feel like shit. Like, so
I think we've all been there.
Jiu-jitsu is the best way to not, it's the best way to build confidence.
I think so too.
There's another time, this traumatized me from when I was a little kid. I was in elementary and I was doing karate, and this karate class, we started doing nunchucks after we reached a certain belt color. And so I was so happy and excited that I had nunchucks because I loved Ninja Turtles. Michelangelo was my favorite, right? And so when I came home with the nunchucks that day, I was showing my brothers, look what I got, nunchucks, right? And then them being the bullies, these nunchucks, they're not like real metal ones. It's like these black padded, and it has this like rope, like a black rope.
Yeah.
They fucking cut it. They cut my nunchucks in half, and I could never use it ever again. So I've been traumatized for that since day one.
That's really sad.
And I told my parents, they didn't do anything about it.
They didn't even get you new ones?
Nope.
Oh.
That was it.
That's definitely bullying for sure.
Yeah. So that's what I mean.
Oh no.
But I would love for the kids to be able to do the martial arts, and I think they should start doing it like next week.
Yeah. I think for me, ever since I was younger, I don't know why. I always felt like I always had to like be the stronger person. And I felt like I was always vouching to be like this independent girl, woman that can take care of myself or defend myself if anything were to happen. And I think that kind of it helped that I had two older brothers, because we would always play with each other and we would always play fight, and they would kind of go easy on me, but they wouldn't. But I would also be super aggressive, and I would like fight just as hard as a guy would,
Yeah.
And I felt like they never really treated me too differently, but they were respectful about it, but at the same time they were like really training me to like make sure that I was strong enough.
Yeah, so you could take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Again, it was tough love.
Yeah, and I think because I was like a tomboy.
Yeah.
When I was younger too, and I just always felt like I always had the need to be able to defend myself.
All right, so here's my question for you. What would you do if the kids were getting bullied?
Whew, that's a tough one, because I don't even think my parents taught me this either. Like I just had to like fend for myself. But I think I'm already like giving them lessons about being bullied. I always tell them to try to not be the aggressor ever. Try to make sure you understand the situation. And I feel like they are old enough to know that, especially Leia. And it's more so of like, if you feel like someone's being aggressive towards you, you try to diffuse the situation and you leave the situation. But if it's to the point where they're actually really trying to like mess with you and stuff, like stand your ground, be loud. If you have to be that kid that like tells on them, you have to do it. You know what I mean?
I think, I don't know if that's going to save you from bullying, because now you're going to get in more trouble from the bully. So one is obviously verbal, where you're just like, you tell them, look, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's the way you tell them, right? Don't fuck with me. But if you're just like, hey, leave me alone, then they're going to keep coming at you. But if you're like, hey, dude, you better stop this, I don't like it.
Yeah, well, I definitely teach them to
right?
be assertive about it for sure.
So once they have that confidence, hopefully that's it.
Yeah.
But then if it gets down to like, now they're getting pushed, the first thing I would do is I would teach the kids how to punch. And just punch the bully.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to get down and fight for your life and do that. I mean, just give them one good punch so they know what you mean, that you mean business, and that's it.
Yeah, I will let them know, like, never let anyone hurt you. And if you feel like you have to defend yourself, then you would do it.
But I don't think that actually works, because my dad did the same thing to me. So I didn't even think about this, but he told me one time at a workplace, he's like, there's these guys that keep messing with you. He's like, just go ahead and give them a little push, let them know.
Yeah.
But me at that age, I was all about fighting. So it wasn't just a little push. I push, then I wanted to sock them, then I wanted to wrestle them.
Yeah, it keeps going. That's why
So,
I always try to make that the last resort. Like, you try to diffuse the situation, you try to leave it. But if they keep coming after you and you have to defend yourself, then yes, you do it. But also, I think it does help if you do let like a teacher know at the same time, because I think even for Leia at school, I'll have discussions with the teachers, and kids sometimes they don't know personal space and they don't know how to communicate with each other, and the schools are teaching them to say like, oh, if they're doing something you don't like, you say no thank you, and if they keep doing it to you again, then you kind of just have to like let someone know.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like being violent just makes it worse.
I totally understand that, but that only works up until a certain age.
Right.
Because once I started getting bullied in middle school, you don't tell the teacher.
Yeah, I know, because they will bully you even more.
It's already happening. You're not going to stop and go run away and tell the teacher, and then they're going to tell the whole school what just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just like an ideal situation, right? But I think even for me, when I was getting bullied, I would always stand my ground. I never went to tell the teachers at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I felt like I had a tough girl exterior or demeanor always, like my entire life.
Nice.
And anytime anyone would try to do something to me, I would always like, kind of like what you're saying, like, don't fuck with me, because I don't want to fight. I don't want to escalate things, but if I have to, I will.
Yeah. I mean, like right now, we're already teaching the kids how to protect themselves, right?
Yeah.
We're teaching Leia how to get out of this hold that Enzo puts on her.
Yep.
And then we have like punching bags and things like that. And, they like to start punching it. Sometimes I let Enzo hit me just to see how strong he is.
Yeah.
Like I try to teach Leia how to punch properly, just like little things like that. And I think that's just the start of it. And it's not for them to start fights. It's just so they know what they're doing, because if they were to get in a fight and we didn't teach them, I didn't want them to break their hand or get hurt.
Yeah, just I want them to be in control of the situation.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
So this was a great episode, guys. Comment down below about how you would handle the bullying with your kids. And also don't forget to subscribe, follow us on all podcast platforms. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys next time.